So when we spend so much time doing the same thing and in the same field, it can be really easy for us to complicate things that were usually really simple. And I think we've done this with wellness or well-being, like whatever you want to call it. And we've started with something like ROI, right? We said first it's the ROI. That's like really the thing that we've got to focus on. And then that's about healthcare costs. And we're like, well, that's too difficult. So let's move to employee engagement. And we're like, well, employee engagement, I mean, that's like a loaded topic and that's so much to do. So let's move on to culture. And then we're like, well, that's the biggest challenge of all. So like, what do we actually do? Like maybe we're missing something and maybe we could be doing something differently. So what if instead we got back to basics and we, instead of looking for the golden ticket and saying, what's like the answer, what's the next thing we want to, hang our hat on, what if instead of doing that we got curious? And we started to notice without judging, and we started to, reduce our assumptions, and we just started to wonder and ask these questions, what would happen? Business guru Tony Robbins has outlined these 6 core human needs, and I love this. There's certainty, variety, significance, connection, love, growth, and contribution. And these are the things that matter to people. These are the things that lead to a fulfilled life. But how often are we talking about these when we're talking about our wellness programs? And maybe if we did, this would matter to people and mean more. So our wellness logo that we put in place about 4 years ago is Spark, and their tagline is Come Alive. So notice there's no weights or measuring tape or apples in there. We don't even have the word healthy, because this is what we want to help people do, to come alive. And so we asked, what if we got curious and asked how we could promote connection, caring, and give people opportunities to contribute? And we know that connection is a really challenging topic, and we are more digitally connected but more intimately disconnected than we've ever been before. But we know that community and sharing our stories and being vulnerable, all the things that we've talked about, are the core of connection. The truth is, though, we know things about the people we work with and for, but rarely do we know who they are. And I have the opportunity to learn things about the people that we work with. I get to interview CEOs of clients of ours and get their stories. And I was given the name of one CEO, and his HR person told me that he's kind of a jerk and said, good luck. And I come to find out that he had just relocated from Chicago to Baltimore, and he left behind everything he knew. And he hadn't made any friends. And so I come to find out that this 65-year-old man was lonely. He was lonely. And so what are we doing for someone like that to create connection? He wanted friends, he wanted community, he didn't have this. And so I really believe this is true, that love, belonging, connection, these are what matter most when it comes to well-being. These are the things people are craving and we need to give them. We need to create opportunities. So what are we doing to connect? Let's put our phone down and put our heads up. Let's say hello to people. Let's grab coffee. Let's grab lunch. This is not difficult, but we're not doing it. So what if we just started doing these simple things and just paying attention to people? So that's the first part. It's really about connecting. And these are some of the ways that we connect at my company. So this is us harvesting kale and collard greens, and we have paint nights and ugly sweater parties and mason jar meals, and we have 21 days of gratitude on our writable walls where we have different topics that rotate through and people can write out the thing that they're grateful for. And these are just fun ways to connect. There's so many ways to do it, but these are just some options for us. Connection is rooted in caring. And caring is about paying attention to people. It's about noticing people and saying, how are you? What do you need? Can I help? If they seem kind of down, it's about not walking right by them, but stopping to have a conversation. That's what caring is about, and we need to be doing more of this. And at its core, caring is about giving people our time. Giving people our time in conversation, giving people our time by just hanging out together. That's really what it's about. And I had the opportunity to be on the receiving end of this about a year ago, and I had a horrible meeting the night before with my boss, and I left feeling kind of dejected and in tears and inadequate, and I walked into work the next day, and sitting at my desk, unwrapped, is this mug. And I asked about 15 coworkers who had given it to me, and nobody ever owned up to it, so I still have no idea who gave this to me, but it really doesn't matter, because what did matter is that they cared about me. And someone took the time to do something thoughtful for me, and that's really what this is about. It's about doing something thoughtful. This is a picture of me and my dad. My dad is my greatest mentor, and he's been a management consultant for 40 years, and he works with organizations and helps them get unstuck. And what he started doing, he started giving executives at the companies he works with this sign to hang in their office, because nice matters. What if that was our motto as a wellness industry? Because nice matters. There's a book called Everybody Matters by Bob Chapman, and he has this to say: everyone wants to do better. Trust them. Leaders are everywhere. Find them. People achieve good things, big and small, every day. Celebrate them. Some people wish things were different. Listen to them. Everybody matters. Show them. Phenomenal book. I would encourage everyone to read it. Another book is called The Art of Possibility, and it's written by the conductor of the Boston Philharmonic. And this is one very simple question that he asks in the book for us to consider on a daily basis. How can I be a contribution today? What if we started just asking that simple question? How can I be a contribution? Our CEO showed us a living example of this in a story he shared about a homeless vet named Scotty that he had befriended at a Starbucks in Rehoboth Beach. And Richard had seen a story of a millionaire in Pennsylvania giving away $100 bills to pay it forward. And so Richard gave one to Scotty, and Scotty was so touched. And Richard was so moved by that and how he felt as a result that at our final all-hands meeting of the year last year, he gave us all a handwritten thank you note and 2 $100 bills so that we could pay it forward to whomever we wanted. And I'll tell you, this did more for loyalty and for engagement and for retention than anything else he could have ever done. And it was just remarkable. I felt so proud to be someone who worked at that company. And the story went viral on LinkedIn and on Facebook. People were just sharing the joy of this. And these are some of the people that we helped. There was someone returning from military service that someone flagged down at the airport, a pastor and his family, the clerk at Wawa, the maintenance men. And it was just so cool for people to be able to spread this joy and share these stories about how they had touched the lives of somebody else and how they benefited from that as well. It was amazing. So in closing, I just want you to ask yourself these questions, to get curious, to notice without judging, to stop making assumptions. Ask, what can you do to connect, care, and contribute, and bring this message back to the communities that you serve?